Okay, first question. Growing up, when did you recognize that there were differences in skin color, and did somebody tell you?
I lived where I lived. It was entirely white people. There was no integration.
Okay.
So nobody told me, but I saw people of other color when I would go to the downtown Detroit area, go shopping, and particularly see the workers of other color down there.
Okay. Did you ever confront any discriminations around you? Why or why not? And what was the results?
Yeah, ask me that again.
Uh, did you ever confront any discrimination around you? Why or why not? And what was the results?
Well, the discrimination I first recognized was that my parents were racist, and I did not confront them because I was their kid and I was a child. But I recognized what it was. I did not do anything about it as a kid.
And the results?
The result was I grew up a bit angry at my folks.
Did young people respond differently from the older community regarding race?
I still was living in a mostly white community, so the conversation was never really about that.
Were there any local demonstrations, sit-ins that you remember or participated in?
Not when I was a kid. They really didn't do that thing. Some of the demonstrations around that time were usually about unions and union busting and jobs, not about racial issues.
Do you think the civil rights movement changed race relations in the United States? What progress has been made?
Well, that's a really big question. I think it has changed race relations in the United States. I think it's helped, but I don't think it's solved the problems.
What segments of the population is victimized today? Do you believe that the promise of equality has been fulfilled?
No.
What is your understanding of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Well, I think that I have not thought a lot about it because it's in my age group. It just doesn't isn't really important to us as it may be to a younger group who have to deal with it. But the Black Lives Matter is, I think, a progressive and good movement. I don't see it as a radical movement at all, and I think it needs to continue to work to help with gun control and law enforcement problems.
What was the greatest accomplishment of the civil rights movement?
Wow. Maybe the greatest accomplishment of the civil rights movement was simply finally the recognition that the racial discrimination was so clear and so obvious that it couldn't be set aside easily anymore.
What was the greatest failure of the civil rights movement in your opinion? And what else can be done to improve the civil rights issues?
Well, I have no idea what the greatest failure was because I'm not that close to the civil rights movement. What was the second part of your question?
Uh, what else can be done to improve civil rights issues?
Well, I think the biggest thing that can be done is what I like to see in San Diego, and that is there's so much integration and there's so many different racial groups here that are living together. And I think in the end that it's been proven that when people are familiar with each other, that they breeds confidence in each other rather than racial problems.
Okay, okay, two more questions.
Okay.
How much did the candy, snacks, and desserts cost back in your time?
The what?
Desserts, candy, and snacks.
Well, let's see. You could probably go to Sanders ice cream shop and get a nice, great hot fudge sundae for about $1.50.
Okay, last question. Uh,
By the way, gasoline when I worked at the gas station when I was 18 years old was 17 cents a gallon.
Oh, okay. What TV shows have you watched as a kid?
I didn't watch TV as a kid because I didn't have a TV.
Okay. Thank you for your time and thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.